Hello everyone, and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. Many viewers may know this past weekend that Detroit played host to two conferences of Catholic gatherings. One was notoriously unfaithful to the church, featuring prominent dissidents who have nothing good to say about the teachings of the faith with which they, in all their brilliance, disagree. The other was attended by faithful Catholics who just want to be inspired and assisted in living a life of holiness. During the second conference, one speaker said, "We can't or shouldn't blame the bishops for the current state of affairs in the church." Oh, really? Then just who should we blame? Certainly they have a monumental task of trying to preserve the faith in a hostile environment, but only the most naive or politically minded would say we shouldn't blame the bishops. What we're talking about here is effectively two generations of bishops. One generation ago, there was admittedly a sizable number of unfaithful bishops. They did not like what the church taught. They thought they knew better. They had an entirely different view of church. And most noteworthy, they set about working hard to implement their version of church. It was a modernist reversion, replete with all the errors of the modernist heresy. These men ruled over a decay of the church unparalleled in history. At no time in 2,000 years of sacred history has it been the case that hundreds of millions simply walked away from the faith. Never. But now there is a second generation of bishops who have sadly inherited this mess, and being perfectly honest, many of them, not all, but many of them have let the rot continue largely unabated. At no time in history again have millions upon millions sat in their parishes Sunday after Sunday after Sunday and heard essentially nothing from their leaders. When a wildly notorious dissident stands up and starts preaching lies and confusion loudly and strongly, sure, the local bishop might issue a press release or something, which he should do, but what happens after the big mouth heretics have left town? What about all the soft pedal dissidents and heretics who are still around? The ones who are always there? What about the ones who quietly counsel couples that contraception, for example, is okay? What about the ones who show little respect for the Eucharistic Lord or never breathe a word about the need for confession? What about all these people, errant CCD teachers and directors of religious education and RCIA leaders and instructors in diaconate programs who quietly and patiently take the church apart on its grassroots level, brick by brick, all with the local bishop's consent or at least knowledge? Sure, it's fine for big-name celebrity Catholics to say we can't blame the bishops for the condition of the church, to which many people say, well then who is to blame? What a load of sewage to give them a pass. They are absolutely to blame because of their lack of action. How is it that there exists in the first place so-called gay masses? And what about the local clergy in so many dioceses that officiate at these masses? What about the total lack of Catholicism taught in Catholic school after school after school? What about dissident priests and nuns and theologians in so many so-called Catholic universities and colleges in the West? These people exist, and we might add quite comfortably. They live quite comfortable lives in the church today because no bishops from that earlier generation took them on and tossed them out long ago like they should have, and this current generation of bishops lets them stay. The catering, for example, that goes on to the homosexual community, and we don't meet good Catholic men and women trying to live according to the teachings of the church, but the rainbow and LGBT crowd. A gay mass actively promoted in Boston, for example, which is first allowed, then stopped, then substituted for by a gay prayer service. What in Hades is going on here? A local parish in Olympia, Washington that advertises right on the front of its bulletin how welcoming it is for gays and married priests and non-believers. The parish is Holy Wisdom, and it bills itself as an inclusive Catholic community. Yeah, I bet it's inclusive. Try walking in that parish and kneeling down to receive Holy Communion on the tongue and watch how inclusive it will be. Forget about conferences of dissidents that are here today and gone tomorrow. Outlandish statements by outlandish dissidents are nowhere near as destructive as the insidious drip, drip, drip of diocesan clergy and staffers who every day in 100 ways contribute to the rot of the faith. Of course, the bishops who don't live up to their office are to blame. What a politically minded motive and comment to say otherwise. In fact, it's a selfish comment to make because the motive is to curry favor with certain bishops. If they are not to blame, both for not excommunicating the outrageous dissidents and correcting the hundreds of daily problems right under their noses that they just ignore, then who is to blame? They have all the power. They have all the authority. They have all the responsibility. To excuse them of their duties is a horrible falsehood. And the proof is that you could turn the comment around. If errant or lazy or cowardly bishops aren't responsible and can't fix the problems, then pray tell who can. Letting the bishops off the hook so you can sell more books or get more listeners on your radio program or TV program is disingenuous. Lazy, cowardly, politically minded, and career-minded and dissident bishops is exactly why the church is in the desperate straits it finds itself today. Until they lay hold of all the dissidents, the big mouths and the quiet ones, and throw the bums out, they are to blame because they are the only ones who can fix the problem, and they don't. Pray for the bishops. Pray hard and pray often. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.